Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Susie and I am the host of I Run Things. If you're looking for inspiration to take out on your runs, you've come to the right place. In this new series called Runfluencers, I introduce you to some of the best creators of running content on YouTube and other social media platforms. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy today's interview. And please don't forget to subscribe. Hi, Andy. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Oh, I've been a fan forever. I remember when we started our channel. Well, when I started my channel, you already had like 1,000 subscribers. So I
Yes, I
looked
remember
up to
watching lots of
you.
your videos as well.
Yeah, I remember that. And you were so kind when I was training for Philadelphia. I don't know if you remember. I have a
I
very
do.
And you used to watch my videos and pop in there and leave me comments and support. So I really do appreciate that, because coming from someone who is so fast, that was like that extra, I don't know, it was great for motivation to have you there. So thank you for that.
That's okay.
So I wanted you, under someone's has been living under a rock for, I don't know, the last 2 or 3 years, and they don't know who you are. But just in case there's someone like that, why don't you introduce yourself for people who may be watching this who may not know who you are?
Okay, super. Yeah, thank you. So my name's Andy. I go by the alias of the Forest of Dean Runner. So I'm the other side of the pond to you. I'm based over in the UK. And I live in a beautiful location called the Forest of Dean. We're right on the Welsh border, so we're on the west side of England, and I live in the most stunning location. I'm so lucky. We've got trails beyond trails. It's amazing. And I like to document my running journey. I started out my channel many years ago documenting training, and the channel's just kind of evolved and grown from there. Race vlogs, shoe reviews, how-to videos, trail runs, running tips, everything really. So yeah, and here we are today, just still going, still recording.
I know it's been a crazy journey, I'm sure for you, but for me to follow you, because every time I check your videos, you have a lot more subscribers. So obviously you're doing a great job at keeping folks engaged with your journey. And I know that lately you are like clocking great paces. So how did you get there? Because I just watched the video. You're trying to reach 35 minutes in the 10K. That's not nothing. That's like seriously fast.
I'm
How
trying.
do you get there? It's a long, it's many years in the making, but
it's really funny. Loads of people ask me that question. It's really weird, and I'm not actually like a natural what I would call a runner's athletic body shape. I'm 6'6". I'm really tall. I'm like 2 meters for those who work in meters. I have a really long stride. My cadence is really low, so everything kind of goes against me in that aspect. But I guess it's just, I've been running 5.5 years now, and it's just kind of this accumulation of just consistency. It's all I say to people. They're like, how are you doing it? I'm like, it's just being consistent week in, week out, running on the days that I'm meant to be running, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days a week. I don't do the highest mileage. I'm very privileged. I get to run with some incredible athletes who are much quicker than I am. And they're running 80, 90, 100-mile weeks. I'm doing it hovering in and around the 50 to 60-mile range. It's what works with my family. I've got 3 kids, so I have to kind of fit running into that. But it's just about being consistent and making sure that I go out there and have a structure. Sort of structure is really important, I think, for people. I think there are lots of training schedules and plans out there for us to use. It's about understanding them a little bit more and understanding why you're doing what you're doing. There's a lot of duff information out there, training plans you can get for free, which I look at and kind of maybe cringe or worry that people are following these things, because I think, you're trying to get to X goal, this isn't going to sort of cut it. So it's just about learning along the way what works for your body, what doesn't work for your body, fathom out your own training, and just kind of, you just keep arriving at these little destinations along the way, these little checkpoints that you can just tick off, these time goals, if you have time goals, or if you run for distance, these distance goals, I want to be able to run 10 miles, 12 miles, 15, 20, a marathon, an ultra. And it's just about ticking them off along the way. So, I mean, for me, it's just been consistency and structure, I think, are the two main things.
So this is a question I really wanted to ask you. Did you ever feel unmotivated to go out? Is there ever a day that you're like, oh, I'm not feeling it today, I just don't want to do this, I'm just going to skip it? Do you ever do that?
Do you know, honestly, it's really rare. I'm a very motivated person, and I'm quite a positive person. So I have a goal in my head, and I'll do whatever it needs to be. I mean, don't get me wrong, the winter nights out on our local industrial estate, they are horrific. Driving rain in your face, you're out there doing mile repeats, you're thinking, what am I doing? I should be at home watching TV. But then you just think, actually, these are the nights that make you as a runner. That it's not the easy plodding in the summer. That's all great for your aerobic fitness and base building and what have you. But when you're out there doing things the hard way is what makes the races easy. And I've been through enough training cycles now to understand and know that all the graft you put in those 8, 10, 12, 14-week blocks, when it comes to race day, whether the race goes right or wrong, 3 or 4 weeks after that race, I always find this massive step up in fitness. It's like my body has absorbed everything I've done. I've had a down week, I've slowly eased back into training, and then suddenly I feel like I've got rockets on my feet, So I always think of that in my head. I don't ever think of, I'm tuning up for this race. I'm thinking beyond the race, how I'm going to feel in my next training block. And that keeps me really motivated. Like now, just breaking 35 minutes in the 10K last weekend, I'm just like, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. And I'm thinking, what's the next goal? What's the next goal? So it is really rare. There are a couple of occasions, but honestly, it is few and far between.
I just have the hugest admiration for people who have such consistency, because that's something I'm very motivated, but I'm not, or I haven't been structured enough. Now that I'm more structured, I feel like I could reach my goals, which are a lot more humble than yours. I mean, I was trying to break an hour in the 10K. And I did at the beginning of the year. So
that's awesome. Well done. And that's it. It's all individual, isn't it? Like my first ever run was 2 miles, and I ran 12, 13-minute miles, 14-minute miles. I can't remember. It was around that mark. And I always look back to that and go, that's where I started, and it's where so many people start, and then it's just about chipping away one by one. So you've broken the hour, that's awesome. So then the next one is 55 minutes,
right,
and then 50 minutes, and so on and so forth. It's just ticking them off in your head as you go.
Right. So how do you balance everything? Like having a family, having a day job, and then going out for a run? Well, if there's such a thing, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a very
difficult. It is really difficult. At the moment, I've got a baby, or it's 3.5 months old. So that kind of routine went up in the air. My eldest 2 daughters are 9 and 11. So life was pretty good and we had a good routine. And so I used to go out Monday morning, and then Tuesday evening, Thursday evening, Friday morning, Saturday morning. And that was my structure. And that was my structure for a good 2 or 3 years. And then, a couple of years. And then now with the baby, there's no way I can go out in an evening. No way I could go out in an evening, because obviously evenings with the babies are hard. They're grumpy, they're tired, they want to go to bed, they need bathing. And I don't feel it's suitable to leave my wife with my 2 daughters, who are getting to that age where they're fighting all the time, trying to get them to bed and then put a baby to bed. It's just not fair. So I am getting out early in the morning. So if he wakes up at say 4 or 5 o'clock, then I will settle him back down, put him back to bed, and then go out for my run then. And just get it done early. Actually, I'm finding it's working so much better getting it done first thing in the morning. It's hard, but now I'm in the routine. It feels really good. So it's just about trying to fit it in where it's not going to impact things too much. That's as best as I can say. There are occasions when it does impact, but to be fair, my eldest daughter is 11 now. She's really good. She's quite helpful, so she'll help mum out if she needs to. So yeah, just squeezing runs in as and when it's not too inconvenient.
Right. And in terms of nutrition, do you follow any? I don't know. Are you vegetarian or vegan?
I'm vegetarian.
Very
vegetarian, good. And I have been for about 4 years now. I've been vegetarian for quite a while. It feels ages for me.
4 years is a long time.
Yeah, I think the whole vegan kind of movement and vegetarian movement has become really big over the last few years, and people are kind of slowly waking up to we won't go into that, but it's kind of like a new trend thing. Right. And sadly, a lot of people, I think, see it as a trend and then they just dip off whenever they feel like it. Right. But I mean, for me, it really stuck 4 years ago, and I'm a really strict vegetarian. Like, the only things that I eat that are a dairy, and that is eggs, because I get them from someone over the road who has chickens. Like, I can see where they come from. You know, I know they're not factory right. eggs or anything like that. And there's a few like vegetarian sweets and things. I'm predominantly vegan, but I can't classify myself as it. And it's amazing for my fitness. Like, I love it. Yeah. I feel so much better.
That was going to be my question. If you had noticed, because you started running 5.5 years ago, and then you started being a vegetarian 4 years ago, did you notice that improvement in your performance?
Yeah, I did. I noticed when I was eating a lot of meat, I felt very, very heavy all the time, just kind of like very sluggish, lethargic. I experimented a lot with diets and things, did protein cycles, carb cycles, so have low carb, high carb, and all that sort of stuff. And I was eating a lot of chicken, a lot of minced beef, lean beef. And I was just, I was feeling so, one day, it wasn't even for the ethics. It was nothing like that. I just woke up. My wife has been vegetarian since she was 12 years old. And this is back in the days when there was just vegetable burgers. That was it. There was nothing else, no other choice. Like now, we've got loads of choice. But back in the day, there was nothing. And I just said to her, I don't want to eat meat anymore. Can you cook me vegetarian stuff this week? And she said, yeah, of course I can. Like, she'd never pressured me. And it stuck. I just love the food. I'm more experimental with the food. With meat, it was just like meat, potatoes, vegetables. Whereas now it's like all these vegetable curries and just so much more experimenting going on. It's so much nicer. So yeah, I noticed a massive difference straight away.
Right. So what are your next? I know that we are going through very strange times right now with obviously the pandemic, but what are your goals moving forward? What are your races that you really want to tackle next?
Half marathon is my favorite distance. Like, the half marathon I love it. It's the perfect.
Me too.
So yeah, I race. I like to race between 10Ks and marathons, and I do the odd 5K here and there. But I don't really enjoy 5Ks. They're too hard. They're too fast. They hurt too much.
And they're too short too, right?
Yeah, they are.
Don't you feel like it's like you start and you're done? It's like, okay.
Exactly. You just
go home.
There's a lot of effort for not a lot of time running. So I'm not a massive fan of them, although I'll do them to see where fitness is at. 10Ks, if I get them right, I enjoy, but I'm more often not. My pacing isn't the best with 10Ks. Half marathons are just that perfect sweet spot of dialing back the pace from a 10K, finding a gear and sticking in the gear and hovering it. And now I've kind of cracked pacing with the half marathon. I can kind of find that gear quite easily, and then I just sit back and I race, and I really enjoy it. And the race is long enough to get into packs and run with packs, and then break packs and drop off and do all that sort of fun stuff, which I really enjoy. The marathon is a sadistic distance, which is horrific on so many levels, but it's a distance that I want to crack. I've never My PB is 2:58, so I as 2:59, so I got under 3 hours, but it was the hard way. It wasn't a good way, and sort of like I know I can do better, but every time I try, something goes wrong in a marathon. It just feels like there's too much time for something to go wrong.
Right.
So definitely when things is and lockdown is kind of races are back, shall we say, half marathons and marathons are going to be the focus. Half marathon target is sub 1:15, and then from there marathon just complete it. Just complete it without walking.
Marathons are so hard. I mean, I keep saying this, but it's just your mind. You better like yourself when you're at your worst, because you're in your mind for so long. Like, I feel like a half marathon, you can, play around and say, okay, we're almost there, like break the miles. But the marathon is like, you start counting. And once you start counting, it's like never ending. Like, okay, another mile and another mile.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And then your mind plays tricks on you, and it's horrible. Like I seem to have nailed the 20-mile distance. Like the 20-mile, we've got some 20-mile races around here, and it took me a while, but I've got that. But there's something in between 20 and 26.2 that happens. And we all know what it is. Obviously, our bodies run out of fuel, so it's fueling, and we all have to hydrate and blah, 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 blah. I can kind of scrape through a 20-miler with minimal fueling and water, but I can't do that in a marathon. There's no hiding. And and I always think, I've had a great 20-mile race. I'm going to nail this marathon. And it never happens. It never happens, ever.
Right. Yeah, when I was training for Philadelphia, one thing that I did was I put my 20-miler, I think I did 2 or 3, and then I walked another extra 2 miles.
Yeah.
Because I needed my mind to understand, okay, once you do your 20, you're going to keep going. There's more after that. So
there is more, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I just kept going like an easy pace. But of course, after 20 miles, you walk another 2 and you're out there forever. I mean, you're like, you say goodbye to your family and you'll come back and you come back.
I kind of had to make a pact with my wife last time, because when I properly marathon trained last year, it took up a lot of time. And I just kind of said, like, right now with training, I don't particularly stick to a schedule whilst you're in lockdown, just trying to keep consistent miles. But every weekend I do a decent long run, and it tends to be around 18 miles to 20 miles. And I just do that every weekend. That's what I try to do. And I try to make it a relatively steady pace, in the hopes that when marathons are back, I don't need to marathon train as such. I can just drop into a marathon, because the family pressures of marathon training, like if you're not a full-time athlete and you're working full-time, it's a big deal. Like, it takes up so much time, especially if you take it seriously. So, you better be prepared if you're going to go hard in marathon training, because it takes its toll on the family as well as you.
Right. When I trained I've only done 2, but when I trained for my first, my husband was this close to, I joke about this, to divorcing me, because he was like, how many more hours? Like, you run all these hours Sundays and then you're like dead the rest of the day. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You're not yourself. I mean, I would lay down on the couch and sleep for 3 hours straight. Like,
and that's the thing, like that. My wife said exactly the same. Like, I would come home from a long run and just crash out on the sofa. I'd eat something and go to sleep. And she'd be like, it's not just the run that's the problem. It's like, you're wiped out for the day. We can't do anything with the kids. You can't do anything with the family. And I'm like, I kind of, I understand. So I'm going to tread a bit more carefully when the next marathon comes around.
Yeah, it's just, you need so much support from the family. There's no way around it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's love right there. Yeah.
She has to put up with a lot, bless her.
So I know that you review a lot of shoes on your channel.
Yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot right here.
Go for it.
Your favorite pair of shoes right now?
The ASICS Nova Blast.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's a new one for me.
Phenomenal. Yeah, it is just, it has been the most versatile shoe. So I do review a lot of shoes, but what I try to do, which is different to other reviewers, is I try to get shoes that are actually going to be used for a purpose. So I don't just buy like I have an excessive amount, but I will say to myself every third of the year, so January to April, May to August, September to December, I'll aim to get two easy day shoes, 2 speed shoes, and a race shoe. And so although that's excessive for some people, for me, I kind of want to not do as many as some other reviewers, because I actually want to put some mileage into them. And I get so many good comments from people that say, we love the fact that you've taken these shoes over 100 miles, because like shoes change over 100 miles. Like it's all well and good taking them to 100, but what happens after that? So although I can't take all of them to 100, I do take a fair few over 100, over 200, and sometimes over 300. And so that's my goal. And like with the Nova Blast, it's a daily trainer. But it's like I had gone off Asics ages ago, heavy, clumpy, average shoes. This thing came along, it blew my mind. I've done 20-mile long runs, tempo runs, speed sessions, intervals, easy days, steady runs. It handles it so well. And I've got 250 miles in it so far, and it's going strong. And I'm just thinking to myself, Asics, you have got something special here. You really have. You know, you need to build on this. So definitely right now, that is the pick of the bunch.
Oh, wow. I have to give them a try. Now you sold me right there.
They're soft, they're cushioned, they're soft, quite big stack height, but they're bouncy. They really are bouncy. And they're meant to be like a daily trainer, but everyone I've spoken to says you just want to move in them. They make you want to move. They're so good.
Okay. Wow. Now I have to go to the store.
Yeah.
Find a store that's open and then try them.
Yeah.
Because now it's kind of hard right now.
Definitely.
So yeah, I love this interview, Andy. Thank you so much for your time, because I know you're balancing everything and you're so gracious, and I love your channel. I am a fan.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. And I love what you're doing with the creators as well. Obviously, interviewing the other creators. I've got a few to catch up on, but as I said to you before, I've watched Kyle's and I've watched Dan's. They're all great creators. Everyone you're interviewing, it's fantastic. And I think as a running community, it's really important to kind of connect as much as possible.
Right.
Help each other out, shout out. You know, it's a hustle to grow your channel. A running channel is quite a niche thing, despite what people think. You know, We're not doing gaming. We're not doing lifestyle vlogs that can get millions of views. We're really appealing to such a niche market. And the more we can all sort of collaborate, which is exactly what you're doing, the better. And yeah, so just keep doing what you're doing. It's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Andy. This means the world to me.
That's a pleasure.
Thank you, and have a great rest of the day. I'm sure I'll see you around.
Yeah,
I'll link
definitely.
all your Twitter, your channel, your Instagram, everything below.
Brilliant. And
thank you so
very
much
for having me,
Andy.
And thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you. Thanks guys for watching. Thank you. Bye, Andy.
Well, wasn't that an awesome interview? I hope you guys enjoyed it. All the links will be in the info bar below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you soon. Run fearless, you guys.